All right, good evening and welcome to Futbol En Vivo on Club Deportes, show number 6. You can find us every Monday at 10 p.m. on clubdeportes.com. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at FutbolAustin, Futbol Austin. Be sure to check out clubdeportes.com and follow Club Deportes on Twitter at Club Deportes. I am your host, Eric McCoy, and I am joined by a man who had as much involvement in Chelsea's 1-0 win over Crystal Palace as Romelu Lukaku did. It's Nick Saban, head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
What? Hey, don't.
How's it going, Nick?
This is Austin. Hi.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's not.
David Alvarez.
Hey.
That's who's with me here.
Hey, thank you.
No Jorge Chavez this week. He is off campaigning to have Austin FC play every single match of the 2022 MLS season against the Houston Dynamo. So he's busy campaigning. No Jorge Chavez this week, but instead, it is a treat to welcome Club Deportes legend Miguel here on Futbol En Vivo. Miguel, how are you doing this evening?
Pretty good. Thanks so much. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Hey, thank you for coming on.
Let's talk about a little bit more about Austin FC that is going to start this week.
This week.
It's amazing that it's going to be finally this week.
It's coming fast. Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap up the preseason before we get to the 2022 season, FC Cincinnati, all that stuff. Let's talk about the past to kick things off. And specifically, Austin FC, this past Wednesday, I wasn't there, but you two were both there. They had a 1-1 draw with Atlas. Let's start with our guest, Miguel. What were your thoughts on Austin FC's 1-1 draw with the Liga MX champions?
Let's start with something. I mean, okay, it's the game against a Mexican team that is good to start with that one. But the Mexican team that was Atlas, they played with the B.
So this was not the defending champions.
No, the defending champions, no, nothing. Just one star player played at the beginning. Then they enter like a 3 or 4 more. So with that one, it's kind of hard to say, oh, we really played against the championship guy. But in reality, it's like, okay, it's a good.
How would you rate the Atlas B team? Is this a good set of backups that they have?
No,
not particularly good.
It's a very young team. It's a very young team, and that's the way that they play normally.
Well, Austin FC had a 17-year-old playing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wolf.
But it's a very young team, very dynamic team. But that's it. I mean, you cannot. It's a very short team. I mean, their starting players are really good, but like the other ones, I'm gonna consider so-so. It's not like a Tigres, for example.
Gotcha.
Okay. Now, in the other hand, Austin FC they start to play.
It was not exactly an A team for Austin FC either.
Didn't start with the starters. That was surprise to me because it was the presentation of the Austin FC. So to me, they should start with the starters, and they didn't start with the starters.
So are you disappointed that this big preseason match at Q2 Stadium, are you disappointed that Austin FC didn't play their regular start? You think that's a disservice to the fans to not start their regular starters?
To me, yes. I mean, it was really good because we can see new players like Valencia that I kind of like it. But at the
I think Valencia is going to be a starter ultimately.
You think?
Eventually. I think so.
I think
you don't agree, Miguel?
I think Pereira should be there.
Pereira, I think, will start initially. I think once the season gets going, I think Valencia, you want that solid defensive presence in front of the center backs, and I think Valencia gives you that more so.
I think Valencia is going to be in those kind of games that you are like a 1-1 and you need to go and be sure that you maintain the score at that time. But really to be let's say versus Cincinnati. Cincinnati, we have to win. It's the first game. You go to technically the worst team. You cannot put Valencia. You need to put Pereira to have more attack in that time.
I think for sure Pereira gives you more going forward than Valencia.
So
definitely.
But going back to that one, was the presentation of the Austin FC. The crowd was really good. Everything was the supporters there. We were over there, and at the end was a 1-1 draw, and we say, okay, we finish it, and you had the feeling like you say, if we play with a whole start, we should win that game. I know that it's preseason, but it's really good because you see them in the Mexico. You see all the different websites and everything. Everybody put it over there that the Atlas come to here and play with here, and at the end was a draw. I think we have an impact in Mexico if we won that game.
Okay, now I don't know if you know anything about this guy over here, Miguel.The. He tends to be a little negative. He likes to complain. This guy right here, Coach Saban, he likes to complain. And so, David, were you disappointed that Austin FC didn't have their regular starters starting this game? Did that bother you?
Not really. Not really. I'm not disappointed.
So you were just thrilled to see Owen Wolf.
We just said yes right now.
Take
They
the
just
field?
said, well, it's just more than that. I mean, I think it was good. It was a great game. I think overall it was a great game for mostly.
So good value for your money. This
It's a
Austin
good
FC
game for the fans. It was a good game for the Austin fans in general. And it was just great ambiance. And then when you have 2 goals, like with B teams, everybody was a B team. The only problem was when Fagundes I was saying earlier, like Fagundes was playing pretty good. He didn't play that much, and then
So you wanted more Diego Fagundes.
And he was like cut the inspiration when they put Cecilio for Fagundes, and then
But what did Cecilio do whenever he came on?
Well, they had that penalty. Of course, they did a
Was
penalty
it a
on
legitimate
Cecilio.
penalty? Because you've been critical now, David. He's critical of Cecilio. Says he's a bit of a diver.
He's a diver. He's not a little bit of a diver. It's a big diver, man. It's awful
he
diver.
plays in South America. So.
He plays
Neymar, those kind of guys.
He loves diving. Like,
Do you agree with that? The South American.
I mean, it's a generalization, of course, but I gotta tell you that it comes from something. There is some truth.
You never see that in Guatemala. You never see that.
No, but yeah, overall, I think it was a great game. The fans really appreciated it. The new fans. The fans that were last year disappointed too because so many people. I mean, overall in the city, there's a feeling that the team is a loser team, and we have a losing.
This is the negativity that I'm talking about.
It's a losing team. I mean,
Is that your perception, Miguel? This is a loser team.
I mean, we cannot say anything when you was almost the last in the last season, But let me make a point in the game that was really interesting to me. 15 minutes, okay. And Romagna in one of was running and it started to have a hamstring.
Yes, that's
15
not good.
minutes.
That's not good.
That sounds not good. 2 weeks when you're gonna start. Okay, nothing happened. It was like a minute 28, 29. Okay, and in another play, Romagna started to say, you know what, change. 29, and what Wolf say? No, stay there. 9 minutes later. The goal is because Romagna needed cross. So that score to me is completely fault of the coach.
So you think Wolf should have listened to his player and brought him out?
That was what that means.
That is
Everybody
the
knows.
universal symbol for I need to
I was
leave.
on the brother and say, he wants to go out, and Romagna and the Wolf. I look at the Wolf because I have it in front, and he say, oh no, stay there. I'm like, really? I mean, it's preseason. What you are gonna expose your? Let's start with that one. It's a preseason game. What you gonna export to have a higher injury in that one? That's first. And second, because of that, you have the goal. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know that it's preseason.
I'm gonna play. I agree with what you're saying, Miguel. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, though. Could it perhaps be that he wants Romagna? Maybe I think he did come to the sideline, have the trainer look at him, perhaps. Maybe they didn't see that there was any risk by him continuing to play as far as further aggravating this hamstring. Maybe it's an idea of like, hey, he needs to play his way into match fitness for the season, even though he may give up a goal because he's not 100% right now, but he needs to get to 100% for FC Cincinnati, and that's why he stays in. Do you think that's a possibility?
Well, that was they say. That's exactly what Wolf said.
Great minds think alike, Tommy.
After the Chicago game, that's what he said, that the main goal of these games are fitness. Fitness is the main goal.
I agree. Okay, but you know what? It was like a minute 28, 29. The play was in the other side, and Romagna was just taking breath like all the time. He was not feeling right, and that's the reason why he asked to have a substitute. I know, again, it's a preseason. Nothing happened. I'm good, okay? But those little pieces that I cannot like for the coach. I think the coach should say, you know what, Cascante, go in.
You're bringing up one of his
you don't have to say
one of his favorite
I don't have
subjects.
to say anything, you know.
But okay, we can get to Mr. Wolf in greater depth here in a moment. But I do like this conversation on the center back situation because we could be seeing a lot of Johan Romagna and Julio Cascante coming up. Because Gabrielson, he only got 15 minutes against the Chicago Fire, Austin FC's other preseason match this past weekend, 1-0 defeat. Chicago Fire with the victory there. And then Kip Keller against Atlas picked up a high ankle sprain. So it is possible, unless this is Freddie Kleeman's moment, that we will be seeing Romagna and Cascante starting the season against FC Cincinnati. Miguel, how do you feel about the Romagna-Cascante center back?
That's what we have. Let's start with that one. That's what we have. I think Kip Keller, to me, should be the starting guy. But if it's injured, you cannot start to put it at risk in the first game with a whole long season. You have Romagna, you have Cascante. Let's start with those guys. Now, technically, it's Cincinnati, and we should be okay. We should be okay. Okay. So let's say for now, I will not put at risk Kip Keller at all.
Yeah, I think absolutely.
So you need to wait, and if you have Romagna is okay, we start with that one. Now, if that means that it's our best defender, no, I don't think so.
I would hope not. I would sincerely hope not. I mean, why do you like the Romagna-Cascante center back pairing? I think you're kind of on an island of one as far as enjoying that center back partnership.
But you know, like what we were talking about last year season, and they did play together quite a bit, but many times they would not finish the game together. And I think that was why I liked when they start. I think they were solid. They were playing solid when they have, especially when they had the help from. But you know, some games, of course, they were too slow for some of the teams. You know, and paid dearly for that. I mean, some teams they played them once, and that was it. But if we have some help for them, you know, like consistent help, I mean, I think they work fine. We need just a fast guy. What do you say?
I will disagree with you. I'm sorry.
Don't be afraid to disagree with this guy.
But because, I mean, those guys could be a good defenders, okay? And they do a lot of effort all the time. No question about that one.
A problem. Yeah.
No, it's not a problem, okay?
Talent.
But one of the problems that they have is that Wolf, they like to go, how they want to play. He wants to play like Barcelona, you know? From start with the defense. How many goals we have because no Romagna, no Cascante, they don't know what to do with the ball at all. They cannot.
This is a very valid point.
I wouldn't say that. With Romagna can create space.
No, come on. He cannot create anything.
No, he creates so many. Like every time we were desperate to score something after 2-0, 3-0, he will be played at an attacking midfield position.
But
many of the games.
Okay, it's different. Go over there and try to go to a corner kick or something. But to create like Drusy, come on. It's not.
And are you talking about as well, like building from the back?
He's not building from the back.
He struggles in that, right?
A lot.
There's a lot of quirky touches, a lot of poor passes.
We lost. I don't know how many goals we have because of that. How many balls we lost because of that. And I don't understand why Wolf didn't look at it. I mean, again, I think that's a problem with the coach. If you look at that Cascante and Romagna cannot play like that, you should change and just go front. But that build from the back to the front, you cannot do it with those two guys.
I mean, let's think about opinion, you know. I mean,
absolutely. That's interesting here.
So I mean, I'm not saying that they should be, but I mean, they did okay. From my point of view, they did fine. They when they were played, some games were playing when they have direction, right? But they rarely did.
I think, to me, the defense completely fell apart when Beasler got injured against Vancouver, and you had to rely on both of those guys. I think it really saw the goals allowed. Yeah,
that's what I was saying. Like, honestly, I'm saying we cannot rely on them. You know, we cannot rely. We need always help from the other two guys in the defense to support
we need Gabriel
and the
to be
faster,
good. We need Keller
and the new guys that play defender like against Atlas. I mean, that was fine. That was fine. Yeah,
that's bueno. That guy's really good.
Yeah.
That guy's gonna be good.
That was just fine. So let's start with what we have, and then you build on it.
The good part is that we had two new central defenders because we cannot have a game. I know that Ring played really well that position.
Yeah,
but
you don't want.
But you don't want the Ring in that
to
position.
Play higher up. Now.
Absolutely. I mean, that helps a lot because when Ring was playing that game, now you can build. Now it's a completely different story. But Ring, it's necessary in the midfield, not in the back.
Unfortunately, you can't just clone Alex Ring and have him play.
Hey,
Absolutely.
But so where are you going to put Pereira on?
I mean, Pereira is going to be with Ring and Drusy.
That's what
to do the build in the middle one.
Now I think for early in the season, I do like Paris starting, but I think eventually, especially when you're going up against the stronger teams in the Western Conference, I want Valencia as a holding midfielder.
Yeah,
to protect
Valencia
the
needs to be.
questionable
Valencia needs to be there. You know, I don't think Pereira is up there for me. You know, he should not.
Pereira looks pretty strong, David. In my opinion.
Hopefully, because he didn't show anything
I think he was
last year.
very good last season, considering it was his first season, and what we've seen this season already preseason. I think it looks like
I happily
made strides
disagree.
To be even.
No,
I disagree
Jerry,
with everyone.
Yeah.
Jerry, can you put again the starting with to Chicago? So we can see the starting, and basically it's the same. We have no changes. I mean, the only change that we have is Urruti, that was the only one. Everything else is how we finish in last place. Okay,
Yeah, that is alarming to me, right?
It's alarming. I mean, so are we going to have the same?
But we lost, right?
Do you?
So we lost. What that means? I mean, the only good part that I look at in this one that to me was a complete surprise. Who was the captain in this game?
Who was the captain?
Look at there, Fagundes. That is really. I mean, I think that guy really
he gets it.
They get it. I mean,
he understands what the team's about, what the city's about.
That's really good. That's really. I mean, I don't know if that represents something, but at least he was the captain.
Yeah, the fact that the ring is not the captain. That's interesting.
It is.
It is. I mean, when I pay attention to that one, I say, oh, this is new. But everything else, it's the same. So are we gonna have the same results?
So let's go ahead. I want to get some predictions from you guys. We love doing predictions on this show. But before we get to it, we're going to get to our thoughts on the 2022 season. I want to hear Claudio Reyna's thoughts on where the team stands right now. Jerry, can you cue up Claudio for us here?
Hi, Claire.
So you've been building this lineup in the abstract for a few months now. So what's it been like seeing it kind of on the field actually coming to life?
Yeah, it's very exciting to see the group come together. Not just the new additions, of course, which Ruben Gabrielson was our latest arrival on Wednesday. But the guys also have come back from last year. They're really come into preseason ready to go, focused. There's very good competition within the group, which is something that was a priority for us and throughout the squad, is to make sure that in every position there's players fighting for their spots, and that's something we weren't able to do last year, and so we feel good. We feel good about it. There's a good spirit, a good energy, but the players know that they're going to have to perform consistently, to keep their positions, and that's the idea of a good squad. So making every week and every day, really in training, a focus for the players to make sure that they have a high standard as we go through the season.
So it sounds like Claudio is pretty satisfied with the depth of this Austin FC team as it stands right now. Miguel, is that something that you're satisfied with as well?
It was a better depth. We should see more changes in the 11.
I agree. I think there is. I do more or less agree with Claudio that there is a decent amount of depth.
Some depth. But comparing with last year, we were the worst in last year, almost the worst. So whatever is going to be better. I mean, let's start with
let's take someone like Ethan Finley. I think this is a good player. He's good depth, but he's not going to start. He's not going to start ahead of Fagundes, I don't think, or at least not consistently. So it's like it's nice to have, and if Fagundes gets injured, it'll be nice to have someone like Finley step in. But I don't think Austin FC really made the starting 11 a whole lot better based on these moves.
And you know what? I didn't like it. We have 3 designated players, no? Mm-hmm. And Drusy, Cecilio, and now it's Ring.
Yeah, that was. I don't think people were excited for Ring. The player they already have to be named that.
Exactly.
That
I mean, we should have. We have already Ring. Why we need to put it as a designated player? Why we don't bring a big striker? That's what we need.
Yeah.
We got a Rudy.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. What do you think is the strongest area of this Austin FC team going into the 2022 season?
The strongest? No, the midfield.
The midfield. Okay, yeah, that's exactly how I feel.
The midfield. The midfield, I think it's the strongest, and everything depends how is playing Fagundes. Fagundes is what is moving all this. Drusi, Ring, Pereira, those guys are
Felipe as well. I think was a nice pickup.
Which one?
Felipe Martins?
Felipe. Yeah,
I don't think he starts, but I think he
played versus Atlas and he was just okay. I mean, it's his first game. We cannot. Valencia played well. Valencia played really well. Okay, so that area is really strong, but that area can maintain the zero or can move and put options. But when you have a GT, for example, as a striker, 1 goal in 12 games. I mean,
he's leaving a bit to be desired.
It's. I mean, those guys. It's what we need. One of the guys that really hit it and put it there.
What is the weakest area of this team?
No, for the striker. Of course.
Striker position.
Absolutely. That's easy. That's easy. We don't have any.
No Drusi.
No, but Drusi's
going to be attacking midfielder.
No, Cecilio. I mean, Cecilio cannot play in that.
No, I don't want to see. I don't want to see any more Cecilio as 9, false 9.
No.
I still have nightmares.
No more Cecilio. I mean, and we have Urruti. That's our best striker that we have.
We talked about it last week on the show. Urruti, I don't think he's particularly that exciting of a player, but he did. I look at the goal he scored against Houston. The cross comes in from Kolmanic. He makes just like a kind of just a rudimentary near post run. And I'll tell you what, I don't think Austin FC had anyone last season that would have made the run that he made to score that goal. And I don't think, I don't think Urruti's a difference maker on this team, but that's at least something. I can say that's at least a sign of improvement that you have a striker making just the kind of general runs you'd expect.
But when you look at the who are at the top, no, Seattle Sounders. Rui Diaz.
Yeah, Ruti is nowhere near Rui Diaz.
Imagine. I mean, it's when you start to compare. No, I mean those guys. You look at
Chicago Fire. Now
Shaqiri. I mean, he'd probably be a 10,
really.
But yeah.
I mean, you look at in Los Angeles. Yeah. No, I mean they have like two really good. I mean they have Chicharito. They have Carlos Vela. We don't have any not even close to that.
No.
In that position that is so important. So. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a hard again.
Does a full season of Driussi, does that make a difference? Having him for not just half a season where he's trying to get acclimated, but having him for a full season after he's already had a half season to kind of learn the league and learn the system.
I think for at least with that one, I think we're not gonna be the worst team. But I don't know if it's gonna be good enough to be in the playoffs.
David, what is the area of this Austin FC team that you are most confident in heading into the season?
Of the Austin FC team.
Of the Austin FC, that is the team we are currently discussing.
Okay. I have to agree with you guys. I mean, I think the midfield has to be the strongest area.
And the weakest area, David. And you could say coach, perhaps, if you'd like.
I mean, coach or responsible parties. I don't know how you call it, the front office. I don't know. But honestly, what we need to be talking about it is.
Miguel, are you wolf in or wolf out?
No, you know what? I thought about the question. I'm going to answer different.
Okay, what do you got?
The most important part that this team has, the crowd, the supporting team.
Well,
I like that answer. That's a good answer.
It's much higher than the team.
David doesn't like the answer.
No. That's exactly what my point was going to be. Because when I ask you about, you're talking about the team, the one we're talking about, but I was going to reserve because the more important thing, it is the crowd. It is the supporters. It's Los Verdes.
I think that's it's much higher. It is bigger than what in reality is the team right now.
Yeah. That's exact. I'm totally agree with you. That's what my answer was going to be. And in terms of that's the biggest strength that the
Sure,
Austin
you're not just
has.
copying Miguel's.
I'm copying because- No, I was.
I was gonna say it too. I was gonna say
It didn't finish. I didn't let me finish. It was interrupted, but that was the end goal. I was like, yeah, the crowd is the best thing that we have. Because other than that, we need to be waiting for how the team is going to do. We have Saturday, the next game is coming up, and we don't know.
I'll tell you, these first two games, okay, against Cincinnati and Inter Miami, I think they're pretty important because these teams are not good. And since you're playing at home, you need 6 points from these two games.
You need 6 points and be convinced.
So,
and with that one, you connect again with all the crowd and everything is going to be perfect and you're going to have it there.
Because, the crowd is going to, I think this year is going to be responsible enough and it's going to be way more vocal. I think we talk about.
Do you think they're going to hold this team to a higher standard than what they did last season?
And faster, yeah. It has to be this is like a, crunch time, pretty much. This is crunch time for Wolf, honestly, for the coach, because he needs to show, I say it, in 6 games. I give him just 6 games to show 6 games that he got it, because we give him way too much time before. So 6 games, are you going to give him 10? You guys say 10, Jorge say 10, so I say I will give him 6. He needs the pressure.
What are your thoughts on Wolf, Miguel?
I think he should be out, but I mean, to me,
it's 0 games.
0. I mean, last season, because of that. But now they start the season, I don't see a change in the whole season.
I agree. I don't think it's going to happen. I think even if this team
don't matter that it's the worst again.
I think he stays.
He's going to stay.
It's going to stay after 10 games.
After
too
20,
many friends
30
in important places.
So that's what I'm saying. That's where the supporters comes around. I think that's what the team.
The supporters they're going to be supporring the team. They're
so
not.
You don't think
critical.
the hostility.
You never hear. You don't hear the.
I mean, there was a lot of people that were very mad.
Nobody
There's
saying
many
anything.
situations that happened during the games, many games, and the team left. Remember, the team just took off and they didn't say goodbye to the crowd, to the Verde. It was like totally disrespectful. It's like, what?
Okay, totally disrespectful, and again, full the whole stadium next game full. So it's disrespectful of anything.
Oh yeah, because you can have now the team is not doing that good. Honestly, the prices are not that high because people know there's going to be empty seats.
That's a good point. I mean, this year is still the boom and still like one, but I don't think this is going to be another bad year for the Austin FC. I don't know if we're going to have a third year like that. Okay?
I think you're right. I think after a certain point, you have to start delivering on the pitch.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, which brings me to my big question. We'll start with you, Miguel. Does Austin FC qualify for the 2022 MLS playoffs?
That's a easy no. That's a easy
no. Where do you think they'll finish?
But I think it's going to be closer. Okay?
So they were 12th last season in a 13-team conference. Nashville has moved over this season, so 14 teams in the Western Conference. Where do you see Austin FC finishing?
Should be like around the... I hope that at least, like, in the last 5 games, still fighting for something. Okay? That close. Okay. But at the end, it's not going to be close enough to be in there. So that means like around the 7th place.
So top 7 make the playoffs.
So 8th place. 8,
so you
9,
think they will be narrowly missing the postseason?
Yeah, like that.
It'll be better,
but not good enough to be.
But not good enough to qualify. Is that a satisfying season for you?
No.
So it has playoffs or bust.
Playoffs. I mean, it's your second season. You need to deliver. I mean, it's 7 teams of how many of 13?
14.
Or 14.
Yeah,
so
you have
50% of those go, really? We cannot be in that team?
David, Austin FC, do they make the 2022 MLS playoffs?
Of course.
Of course.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, I can read the future and I can see after 6 games.
Is it written in the stars?
We have a new coach after 6 games. Because we didn't deliver, and the new not only that, when I bring a new player too, a designated player, so we're definitely gonna make it. But
we already have 3 DPs, so you can't bring it. You don't.
No,
get 4.
I'm talking about the future. I'm talking about something that's gonna happen.
Okay.
No,
we're talking Austin FC, no Alabama.
Fantasy.
No Alabama. It's not Alabama. He's like Alabama when he's talking right now.
I like this from you, David. So he actually, on our co-op radio show, we were predicting La Liga last season. when Koeman was still manager. And David actually said Barcelona will win the league, but Ronald Koeman will get sacked. And so the sacking of Koeman will allow Barcelona to catapult to the league title.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's doing something similar here. Austin FC
it's the same
are
thing.
going to
It's
reach the postseason on the back of the firing.
Because I have the hope that, I have the very, very, very big hopes that we can win. We can win some way or another. And I think I think the dream will come if like all Austin FC fans will watch Everton and what happened with Benitez, and then they will get the strength to say it publicly. Publicly that they needed change. How many games did he have, Benitez?
Didn't have many, no. And so which ex-Chelsea player should Austin FC hire to be their manager then to replace Wolf?
Chelsea?
Frank Lampard replaced Benitez at
anybody. I mean, honestly, and we talked about it last year. It's anybody.
Fernando Torres. Did he come
Fernando Torres, which he was in Futbol En Vivo, by the way.
No. I mean, Fernando Torres can be our striker, and it's much better than what we have right now.
Actually, I would take
absolutely. Forget about no coach. Put it over there, number 9. Come on.
Yeah, like the ball. What was the name?
And he's gonna play better than what we have for sure.
No, yeah, definitely. I don't think we're gonna make it. I mean, if we're gonna be honest. I mean, we're not going anywhere with what we have right now.
Okay, so so Austin FC, not making the postseason.
No, not making it. No, with what is right now in the table, but with my dreams, this says different things, but reality at this point says we're not going anywhere.
So if Austin FC don't qualify for the postseason, would that be more the fault of Wolf, or would that be more the fault of the roster that has been constructed for Wolf?
Well, not only that, it would be a responsibility of everybody in the Austin FC. The ownership and the management, all over, except the fans. except the fans, because the fans are always right.
No, now depends, okay? Because to me, it's, let's say that it's 5 games and Wolf is out, okay? That at least it's a completely different story in that time. But it's not going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen either.
But if that happens, okay, now we're talking completely different.
The smile on this guy's face, the next show we record after that happens, I mean, it's going to light up the whole room.
Yeah, if that happens, I have to be here, guys. I have to be here because
you're coming back.
Because honestly, that's the main thing we need to do is to put pressure on.
And I actually think you're right about that. I think the fans, if it's not going well, they need to push back, and they need to let their displeasure be known.
How you can put pressure when it's, again, full, the support there all the time, and it's like a party,
Is that a problem, though? Is it too nice? Do you think they...
No, there's people that are thinking seriously. Like, the supporters, I mean...
Do you think there should be more hostility from the fans towards this team?
I think so. I mean, at least last year... They should sometimes. It's like you are 4-0 losing. I mean, we're winning 3-0 versus Houston Dynamo, if I remember, and we lost. Dynamo or Earthquakes. San Jose Earthquakes. I think San Jose Earthquakes.
Yeah, 3-0. San Jose. Yeah,
and we lost 4-3. Really? Imagine that happened in River or in Boca. Those guys cannot go out. Period.
No.
I mean. That
happened to Leeds. So
there is another. What's another game? I remember what was the game. We were losing like 3-0 or something like that, and they score and look like we won again. Everybody like cheering. I'm like, really? We lost. Nobody saying anything about that. I mean, it's really cool because it's very family and it's very friendly and it's very party and it's and it's Instagram. Everybody, it's pretty cool. That's the good part. But hostility for the Wolf, I don't think so.
Do you want to see like a Wenger out style banner get flown over Q2, like a Wolf out plane flying over?
Not that, but at least when it start to it's almost finished the game. They start to boo the guys, to start to be boo. That they start to feel that pressure.
Well, it was some of it. Some of it last season. There was some of it.
Yeah,
there was some,
could be like 2 or 3 guys.
But not. I don't think nearly as much as should have.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not as much, but it was at the end of the season.
You listen the different TV shows, and you listen and you look the media, and everybody was happy and okay. And next season, we're doing
media
better.
Very friendly.
Very friendly.
Not necessarily our corner of the media.
No,
Our
not
show
this
was
corner, no. That's why we
But-
don't get invitations anywhere, right?
but
anything.
the other media, very, very friendly.
Yeah.
So, any final thoughts on Austin FC here before we move along to the Premier League, you guys?
It was just great to be at the stadium. I think we say the fans were very happy. The new fans too. And there was a fan from Atlas that came. To
Yeah, I
watch
saw a
the
few
game.
Atlas jerseys on TV.
Yeah, there was a lot of Atlas fans. So it was nice to see that, and they appreciating because they had the first experience at the MLS stadium, IQ2 stadium, and they were blown away. They were blown away by everything, by the fans, by the singing, the fact that most of the songs are actually in Spanish, and the rhythm of the music, and they were very, very impressed. So that's what I'm saying about. It's more of the people team, than
The People's Club.
it's the people
Austin
team.
FC.
That's Austin FC, and that's what we support.
Any final thoughts from you, Miguel?
To me, it's really good to have the support. It's really good that we have a team in Austin. We still enjoy it and we really love it. But in terms of the soccer, I didn't see a change in the whole off season. I was expecting more new names. We have a really clear way we need to put a designer, a signer player over there, and we move Ring to that one instead to have a new one. Was kind of disappointing to me.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was disappointing to a lot of
Yeah.
people.
So and they cannot say anything. They already have basically already. I don't know with the season tickets should be already almost full the whole season. So the supporters are gonna be here and we're gonna be there because we like to be there. But I was kind of disappointed of the season. I hope that it's gonna be better. I don't think it's gonna be good enough to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to ask you something, guys, about the new away shirt that they put it on Atlas. Do you like it?
I'm not the biggest fan. Not the biggest
For the
fan.
New Jersey?
The sentimiento.
I love it, man. I love guacamole, man. Guacamole is my palta, aguacate. Jesus, I love it.
You can't eat the jersey. You got to wear it.
I know. I love it. It's great. Anything different from the typical white, and solid colors that you
I
have.
like a good white kit. Yeah.
Like the white problem is just it's get too dirty. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
that is true. Yeah.
So
Very good point.
we need to be safe.
Okay, let's go ahead and talk a little Premier League.
Okay, guys, I gotta go.
Okay, Miguel, appreciate
No,
it. Thank you
so much.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you
you.
for your time.
Thanks so much,
Yeah,
guys.
appreciate it. Always welcome back.
Thank you so much.
All right, Premier League. Manchester City 2, Tottenham Hotspur 3. David, Harry Kane, very, very impressive in this one. Scored twice, could have scored a third. Actually saw a stat. He had 3 touches in the Manchester City penalty area. 2 of those touches led to goals. A lot more productive than the 7 touches that Romelu Lukaku had. It could have been a hat trick, but no, the VAR intervened.
that
on
was Aubameyang that did the hat trick. So
but what this does here is quite interesting, David. So as of right now, the Premier League standings, we've got Manchester City on top, a 6-point lead ahead of Liverpool, who were victorious 3-1 over Norwich this week. And Luis Diaz seems to be quite the signing for Liverpool. 6-point gap, but Liverpool have a match in hand. They will play that match Wednesday against Leeds United. So quite likely that Liverpool score about 8 or 9 goals against Leeds and close that gap to just 3 points. So I ask you, David Alvarez, is the Premier League title race back on?
it is. It is back on.
It is back on.
It is back on. I'm wrong. I was wrong. I said it. I say it was over.
I think we all said it was
during
over.
Boxing Day. I say it was over, right? But
We were all very adamant
It's
that
not
it
over,
was
and it's
over.
good. It's good that we're wrong. It's good because, but even though despite that, you have to recognize that Liverpool is playing at a great level. Now having Mane, Sané, Sadio scores a beautiful goal, and then Mohamed Salah another gorgeous goal, and then you have Luis Diaz scoring another gorgeous goal too, which is
How good of a signing was that? For
great.
Liverpool?
It seems
Great
like he has
signing.
been there forever. Like
He really does. He slotted.
like,
He was great in the Champions League as Inter. I thought he was a difference maker as a sub in that match.
Right.
And then absolutely, scored
Well,
a goal against Norwich.
we have been used to it because I've seen him in Copa America when he played in Copa America. Was the striker for the last Copa America. Luis Diaz, he has the.
So he can play centrally as well. He's been playing out on the left. For
Yeah.
He can play up the middle as well.
Yeah, well, he can play. But he's just a machine, and I think Liverpool with them is a different thing, and definitely is helping them bring.
Who's the favorite? Is it City or Liverpool right now?
No, it's still City. It's still City. I mean, I'm gonna go with this with the prediction that City's gonna win it, based on.
Don't City really wish they had, especially after this match? Don't they really wish they had gotten Harry Kane this offseason?
And probably
When you see a match like
well,
this.
no, probably with Harry Kane, but that's a different story because Harry Kane actually did play really good, and he was struggling before. He was like having
So this season he's only on 7 goals, 2 assists, which last season I got the numbers right here: 23 goals, 14 assists last season. It's sensational. Where do you rank Harry Kane compared to the other top strikers in the world? Like, how does he compare to Lewandowski, Benzema?
I would say he's in the top 10. Top 10.
He's easily in the top 10. Would you say he's top 5, top 3?
No, top 10, and I would say Son is right up there with him.
Okay, I think I think some would classify as more of like a second striker winger, but you consider him a striker.
I consider I think a striker, everybody that scores.
Everybody scores
a striker, even a defender.
So Austin FC have 0.
So, definitely he is an amazing. He did what he had to do. That goal at the last moment was just an amazing feat to see that, and then the fact that Conte was just won the World Cup, right? Conte was winning the World Cup. He beat Manchester City, man. After all of that, after everything that happened with Tottenham, they beat Manchester City, the best team in the world.
Pretty remarkable. So and so the discussion all this season, we've had it a few times. Everyone's been having it about Manchester City and do they need a striker and how much, like I said, how badly they wish they could have gotten Harry Kane. Just looking at the numbers from this match against Spurs, they sent in 36 crosses, which was the joint second most crosses sent in by a team in a Premier League match this season. And if you actually want to know who had the most crosses in a Premier League match this season, that would have been City against Southampton. They sent in 39 in that match. Who are they crossing to? They don't have really anyone that I would consider capable of getting on the end of when City played Southampton, they crossed 39 times. That was more than that was a match they drew 1-1, and they crossed more than any team in the Premier League this season. And then in this match against Tottenham, they crossed it 36 times, which was tied for the second most. So who are they crossing to when you don't have
Rodrigo? I think because
you got Foden, you got Bernardo Silva, you've got Raheem Sterling. I don't
Rodrigo,
really associate those
Laporte,
guys
Rodrigo,
as who I would want getting on the end of crosses.
Yeah. But that's the way to do it. That's pretty much many of the goals come through.
It tells me that I think City.
Well, the cross.
Pep wishes he had a better plan B than what he has. I think is what that tells me.
They did the cross. Sterling got the cross, right? It just I think you need to say Tottenham did a great job. I think you need to
all credit to Tottenham.
Credit to Tottenham. I mean, just to do what they did, they were able to do. Is like very few teams can stand up with Man City 1-1 like that,
Antonio Conte has got a history of it. I remember the 2016-17 season with Chelsea, a season I remember quite well. He had a 3-1 victory with that Chelsea team away at the Etihad that really catapulted that Chelsea team to the title. So Conte, he's got a knack for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's, as we're running a little long here, I want to go ahead and get some Champions League. And actually, there we go. There's the table right there before we move on. Looking pretty interesting right there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. And what we were talking about before, that Man City has to play.
They have a tougher schedule. Or
Liverpool does.
Yeah, Liverpool have a tougher schedule.
Liverpool has a tougher schedule. They end up with, we say.
What about that top 4 race right there, David? Who you like in that?
The top 4 race, I think definitely, it's Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and man, it could be anybody because
Look at Arsenal have quite a few matches in hand.
think
They're only
West
played
Ham-
23.
And West Ham have been kind of inconsistent lately.
And they've got a Europa League campaign to
yeah,
concern
kind of
themselves with.
inconsistent. So, but Arsenal now without Aubameyang is doing pretty good. And then you have not much behind that. Tottenham is going to be.
Yeah, they will be a factor as well.
So
absolutely.
Tottenham it should be there, and the Wolves.
There we go. There's the full table.
Yeah, and the Wolves, Brighton. I was going to say that they but Norwich is.
Zabi, we know you're a big Leeds United fan. Any concern that they might get drawn into that relegation battle?
I mean, it's pretty tight over there.
They're giving up a lot of goals.
And
a lot of goals.
Giving up a lot of goals, and most of it the same way on set pieces, right? Set pieces are. I mean,
What do you think the reason for that is?
the goal. I mean, I really, honestly, Meslier.
You're not a fan of his, are you?
I've never been a fan of him. I mean, it's a good goalie, but it's inconsistent. And he gets some goals that are like,
Makes a lot of mistakes.
Yeah,
It seems like
he
a lot of
makes
mistakes.
a lot of mistakes. I mean, and he's very young, but he's not young. He's 20 years old now. I think 21. We say, oh, he's too young, but no, yeah, I think it's a liability for Leeds, my point of view. But Marcelo Bielsa think differently, and he knows what he put it there. But I mean, you see in the game between Manchester United how important Rafinha is for that team.
Yes.
For Leeds, like he was not there. We're down to 0. He came in.
Sounds like he has some kind of like off the field issues with Bielsa. Is that kind of what I
Seems
gather?
like it.
Yeah,
seems like because to
Bielsa might want to sort those off the field issues
And
out.
don't
because
forget
he
that
seems like he needs.
But also,
Rafinha.
don't forget that he's not going to play against Liverpool because he got a yellow card against Man United.
All the more
So,
reason why Liverpool
he
are
had-
likely to win that.
Yeah, so that's what happened. Probably that's why he didn't put it in the first half because he wanted to take care of him. But I don't know. Something
Bielsa,
happened.
does he stay at Leeds beyond this season?
Who Bielsa?
Bielsa. Is he reaching the end?
I think
Are we seeing the Bielsa burnout, the famous Bielsa burnout?
We have seen this before in some teams.
We
With
have.
Alcon Bilbao, kind of happened. Marseille, especially Marseille.
Yeah.
And it happened, I think, and I don't know if in Atlas happened too, but in Chile it didn't happen. And with the national teams, he was always good. No question about it. But
You're not playing as many
but
matches
also,
with the national
you're
team.
not playing,
It's not
but
week
also
in,
you're
week
bringing new
out.
players.
New players, absolutely.
And he did some great combinations. He brought some old players, Marcelo Salas, I remember, brought him from retirement, and then play a couple games, and then keep bringing new players. So he did a great job developing the team and getting results. But here it's a different story. I don't think he has a team. I mean, obviously, it doesn't have the same budget that the other big teams do have, right? So he had to do whatever he can with what he has, and I think he does wonders with Leeds. But as much you can do is like you don't. I mean, this game with Man United, it was just like tough, I mean, some players did not. I mean, honestly, some players did not went back on time. Or didn't do the job. So.
Yeah, I think Bielsa, he's done remarkable work for Leeds, but I think this is the end of the line. I think this season is the end. I think that they have
Unless
enough to stay up. I don't think they'll get relegated, but I think Bielsa will probably lose.
A good example, I think, was Rodrigo's goal, right? He was trying to cross, but he just hit the water, and the ball went beautifully inside.
That was just a classic Premier League match.
Yeah.
End to end, the rain
I
coming
love
down.
it.
It was so much fun.
I mean, it's so much, and I was so impressed with the game because they were able to play with the rain. Like,
yes,
like
it
they
was a
were
good,
able to move the
high-quality
ball.
match.
They were moving the ball despite the ball was being in some areas.
The ball would just stop.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
On some of the passes. It was-
And I saw like Leeds did a good job of it, like guessing when the ball would stop. They did a really good job at some points and like doing that guessing. So I don't know, that it was a great game to watch because it was just so hard to play in the rain and see so many goals and such a beautiful place. Just nice. I love that game.
Yeah, Premier League classic, to be sure. But let's talk a little Champions League. Before we get out of here, I want to get some predictions for these upcoming fixtures. On Tuesday, Chelsea will be taking on Lille. Lille, the defending Ligue 1 champions, but they're currently in 11th place in the French League with a -3 goal differential. Is there any chance that Lille could spring an upset on Chelsea?
No. I mean, no. I mean,
How many touches is Romelu Lukaku going to have in this match?
It doesn't matter as long as you get one touch, you can score a goal, right? So that's what the striker do.
Well, it's interesting. So Lukaku, just 7 touches versus Crystal Palace, which since they've been tracking this stat, that is the fewest touches by a player that played 90 minutes since the 2003-04 season. That is insane.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is he's not in. It's not like a Timo Werner situation where he has this like extended goal drought. He just scored in each of Chelsea's Club World Cup matches.
Yes.
So
don't forget about that. Like,
the
memory could be very short sometimes for some Chelsea fans.
not this Chelsea.
Okay, because
not
I think you got Lukaku, you got Chelsea winning, and that's what it matters right now. I mean, it's still fighting for the Premier. I mean, Chelsea still has a shot. Like
very, very, very long shot, but
very long, but it still has a shot. I mean,
perhaps.
But the important thing is you can see now in the Champions League, it's going to be having an effect on the team's performance. We want to see an effect. Always do have an effect on Manchester City, not in the good way, right? So definitely the Champions League are a huge factor.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one, David. I think Chelsea get through easily. Lille are just not very good. I don't think so. I think Chelsea get through. Also on Tuesday, Villarreal against Juventus. Who do you like in this one? Unai Emery's Villarreal, Max Allegri's Juve.
Well, I mean, Villarreal is at home.
So Villarreal are in
and
Juventus
is not doing very good. I mean,
they had some
for the first time.
Very active transfer window. Big striker Vlahovic from Fiorentina.
Fiorentina moved to but other than that, I think it's gonna be. I think this is. I think they're gonna tie the game.
So I'm saying, who is going to win this?
Everything.
You can't pick a draw. I mean, a winner will win.
For Juventus.
Okay, I actually like Villarreal.
Okay.
Juve are struggling in attack, and I think Emery organized defense.
It's just Emery is good for the Europa.
He's very good in European competition. Not necessarily this European competition, but European competition. Another one he's very good at. I think they'll get through. On Wednesday, the big one, Atletico Madrid versus Manchester United. A couple of struggling giants there. Who do you like?
That's a good one.
That's
a good one. It's a tough one. Atletico is up and down. It's just up and coming. In La Liga. But Simeone seems like he's going to leave, but he's not. So many factors. But Manchester United doesn't seem to have it together still. With the new coach, you don't see any guidance to say what is the team doing exactly, right? But I'm going to Atletico because of.
Okay, I like Atletico as well. I mean, to me, Atletico these past couple of seasons, they seem sometimes, and last season they won the league, but really in the second half they did struggle a bit, and they've been struggling this season. And to me, they often seem caught in between wanting to be a more progressive team and wanting to be a more just classic defend and counter Simeone team. They don't really seem to do either of those two things very well. But I think in the Champions League, Simeone, I don't think he has any doubt as far as how he wants to set this team up. They're going to sit deep. And they're going to counter.
They play in the big stage. Simeone plays.
He's going to sit deep and counter. And United, I think, have struggled with the ball. They've struggled to break teams down. And they also haven't defended counters particularly well. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, if Rangnick tries to play McTominay with Pogba and Bruno as the eights in that three-man midfield, he's going to have some problems dealing with Atletico on counterattacks, I think. Because that's just not going to work.
Well, it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a fun series, that's for sure. And, Benfica,
Ajax. Okay, so this is interesting. I want to quiz you, David. Ajax, I'm not sure you're aware, and people in general are aware of just how great a season they're having. So in the Eredivisie, the Dutch league, Ajax have played 23 matches. You know how many goals they've scored in 23 matches?
But 30.
Way off. Way more.
40, 50.
They've scored 70 goals.
70 goals.
70 goals in 23 matches.
Doesn't that kid score like hat tricks every other weekend?
Do you know how many they've conceded in 23 matches? They've scored 70. Guess how many they've conceded?
Yeah.
Do you have a guess at how many they've conceded?
No.
5.
Wow.
We got a plus
But didn't they
65 goal differential through
thought,
23 matches.
Didn't the manager or the coach get fired?
No, so
from
Mark
Ajax?
Overmars, the sporting director, he resigned after it was revealed that he sent some inappropriate messages. That's obviously not great. But as far as on the pitch, I mean, it's been electric for Ajax. And Benfica are just third in the Portuguese league. They have both Porto and Sporting ahead of them. So I mean, they're one of the historic clubs in Europe. But I don't see Ajax having any trouble here. I think Ajax are a sleeper to go very far in this competition.
Go Ajax. Johan Cruyff team, always.
Johan Cruyff, yep, the Club of Cruyff. All right, so I think we are just about out of time here on Futbol En Vivo on Club Deportes. David, it's been a lot of fun. Special thanks to Miguel filling in for Jorge this week. Be sure to check out all the great content that we have.
But we forgot about talking Barcelona, the new Barcelona. Well, maybe we can talk about that later next time.
There's always next week, David. Always. And look at that, Jerry coming in clutch right at the end with the La Liga.
And Real Betis, in a strike. Dude,
it's going to be time to reprise the Real Betis update. They have a real Champions League.
But Barcelona is scoring, like Aubameyang is scoring a hat trick in every single league, in the Premier, in La Liga, in the Bundesliga. Everywhere he had
remarkable. That is remarkable.
So that's Arsenal missed, anyways. But Barcelona is a real team now. I think we have the real, and it's gonna fight in the top. It's close to Barcelona. It's close to Betis now.
How about this impromptu Real Betis update? Real Betis, do they qualify for the Champions League?
They do. They do qualify for
so.
this. And they're gonna have the Sevilla this weekend. The Andalusian Clásico.
Oh, the Andalusian derby. Wow. Okay. Hopefully the fans, they keep their polls to themselves.
This is it's a hot classic over there in Andalusia, so in Sevilla. But Real Madrid, is winning. It's going ahead, it is playing
Real
great.
are going to win this, aren't they?
I think Real. But Barcelona with the new team, I think
they're 15 points back right now.
Yeah,
that's a pretty big ask to make up 15 points.
It is, but Liverpool did it with Manchester City, didn't it?
I think it was not quite 15. Not quite.
It was
15.
about 10, right?
Well, with matches in hand, I don't know how many matches in hand.
But definitely. I'm sorry, we have to interrupt you because I really love Barcelona.
You're back on the bandwagon now that Koeman's out. You're back.
I feel. Koeman is back. Is not there, and it's better. It's better.
Much improved, but okay. We're out of time. For real this time. I appreciate Jerry Lopez behind the boards. Excellent work as always. Thank you again to Miguel. Be sure to check out ClubDeportes.com. All of the great content that you want is available on ClubDeportes.com. And be sure to follow us at Futbol Austin, FUTBOL Austin on Twitter. Appreciate it, David. We will do this again next week.